On Hawaii's newest immigrants. We're talking about the Micronesian. Chad Blair spent the last year working on a series of reports. Pretty impressive. And Chad, today we're taking on the biggest misconception about Micronesians who come to Hawaii and the U.S. mainland, and that is that they don't fit in.
Right. So a lot of us, when we think about Micronesians, we think about the ones that are homeless here in Hawaii. We think about the ones that are coming here for health care, and ones that are coming here without a plan, without much structure to their life. No question, those folks do exist. But really, there are many thousands of success stories. So over the past year, I traveled to places like Arkansas and Missouri and Oregon. Thousands of Micronesians from all ages in these places doing good things.
When we think about the Marshallese and how they're linked to the Americas, it's really through military testing and military control. Tell us about that.
Right, exactly. So because of that, the U.S. has a treaty with the COFA nations, Compact of Free Association, but basically 3 Micronesian nations. And they can come here without a visa, and more they're doing that. And they're taking jobs, and they're going to school, and they're contributing to society. So it's a very exciting thing that is going on right now.
But sometimes that can be at great expense to the state when we're talking about, you know, how productive they can be. Sometimes there is another side to that. Yeah,
exactly. There's a lot of problems with health care that are really adding up a lot, but they're proving that they can contribute to society and being very productive here. Case in point, there's a guy by the name of Max Yaramawai. He's from Yap, and about a decade ago he started his own landscaping company. Today it's one of the largest in the state. He's operating on 4 different islands. And then there's Alice Eames. She's from Pohnpei, and she's a fiscal administrator at UH Manoa. She's very active in her community. Now, I should also tell you that per capita, Micronesians volunteer to be in the U.S. military higher rates than American citizens, and many of them are suffering higher casualty rates. So in this way, they're really making more than their share of sacrifice.
Wow, and we'd love to hear about those success stories like you talked about. There definitely is an adjustment to coming here.
No question. Micronesians, their faith is so important to them. They bring that with them when they come to the U.S. The church is at the center of preserving their culture, and it really helps them assimilate, both here in Hawaii and on the mainland. I talked to one pastor, as a matter of fact, and he said that the kids he works with today, the younger Micronesians, they're setting goals, they're making plans for their life. He said when he was growing up in Micronesia, well, that really didn't happen very much, so that's very encouraging.
Now, you've done this really broad series, and Civil Beat held a special event last night related to that. Tell us about it.
Oh, it was great. It was a talk story session at the Arts at Mark's Garage. Alice Eames was one of the speakers. We had Jojo Peter, who's from Chuuk, and we had Sheldon Ricklin, who's from the Marshall Islands. It was sold out, it was televised, and it was actually very moving. It was a wonderful experience.
A lot of time, a lot of effort, a year of reporting, impressive stuff, and the whole series is up on the website, civilbeat.com. If you haven't read it, make sure you go check it out. Chad Blair, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Jen.